Hi, I'm Ali,
And I'm Banks, real name by the way.
and in this video series we're going to partake in the internet's favorite hobby, making lists.
We picked 5 of our favorite PS1 fighting games from back in the day.
And we're going to rank them, of course. We aren't going to compare them to modern fighting games, that's not fair, but we do want to find out if they're still as fun as we remember.
These aren't necessarily the best PS1 fighters of all time or anything, just the ones we played the most of. On to the list. Five, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You may recognize our 5th entry on this list. There's this popular anime right now, something about stand users. It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The artwork and animations in this game are chock full of charm and humor. It's also pretty cool to see that this attitude hasn't changed much in the newer anime shows. The game features a host of classic fighting game modes, unlockable features, and the Super Story mode. If you're familiar with Part 3, Stardust Crusaders, the story here is the same. We follow the Stardust Crusaders on their journey to defeat the evil Dio. There's more to the story mode than just endless fisticuffs. It also features various minigames and interactive cutscenes. The fighting mechanics are typical of your standard 2D fight of the time. Compared to most of the other games on this list, JoJo's graphics hold up incredibly well because 2D art from back in the day aged a lot better than 3D art of the time. Jumping into fights, we couldn't help but joyously laugh at the quirky but incredibly well done animations and flamboyant posing. Ollie and I had a hilariously good time replaying JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I mean, who wouldn't want to aura away at other stand users?
4. Sawblade. My older cousin first introduced me to Sawblade, and even though I have fond memories of it, I didn't play it as much as some of the other games on this list. I figured this would be a good time to get into it a bit more. At its core, Sawblade is a fighting game with an emphasis on weapon combat, featuring a bountiful amount of medieval themes reflected in the artwork. The story prominently features a spooky sword and follows the creeps and weirdos trying to get their hands on it. There were a few story bits in the Edgemaster mode that really surprised me. It's just a shame that I found this mode to be unnecessarily difficult. Maybe gamers were built differently in the 90s. This game still feels good to play, albeit a little sluggish. At first, the fighting mechanics appear to be quite simple, but I found a lot of nuance in the way you can move around the stages to get a leg up on your opponents. Or fall over
Out of the ring.
I can see how at the time the graphics would have been considered advanced and innovative. It's the only game on this list with backgrounds comprised of fully 3D models. But due to this, it also means it doesn't hold up very well in the graphics department. The game looks quite blocky and the repeating textures don't help either. Despite some of the issues, I still had fun with Sawblade. I'm not in a hurry to return to the Edgemaster mode though. Also, big points for the absolutely wild intro. 3. WWF Smackdown 2 Know Your Role. I want to start by saying I'm a huge wrestling fan. Heck, my entire family love wrestling, so my nostalgia for WWF Smackdown 2 is pretty strong. There are so many elements here the game takes straight from the show, from the theme music to the graphic elements used at the time. It's all here. And speaking of being all here, this game features a lot of content. I mean, a lot. There are tons of match types, modes, and customization options. You can mix and match these to your liking, and even throw your own creations into the mix. The mechanics are easy enough to pick up, but the game doesn't feature any kind of practice mode or a button layout guide. I searched high and low but couldn't find anything. I suppose the devs expected you to read the manual. You know that little booklet game discs used to come with? Game discs. Remember those? The gameplay revolves around grabs, strikes, and special interactions, which are context sensitive, and it does feel quite good. I had fun playing by myself, even though I found the season mode to be a little too uninteractive. But playing this game with a friend, or in my case, my brother, takes it to a whole new level. We spent hours upon hours making silly matchups and stomping jabroni butts. So, do we have fun with the single player content? Kinda. But what about the multiplayer content? Hell yes.
2. Bloody Roar 2. I know we already did a video on Bloody Roar 2, but it wouldn't be right to just leave it off this list. Playing these games back to back, we realize how well Bloody Roar 2 actually holds up. It features stylish artwork and the gameplay is brutally satisfying. We took an in-depth look at the game when we replayed it for our previous video. We'll link that video below if you'd like to check it out.
1. Tekken 3. Alright people, it's Tekken 3. I don't have to say much here, but of course it holds up and of course it's still a ton of fun to play. You can see how ahead of its time it truly was by the quality of the character models and the gameplay, which is just perfection. Whether you're playing alone, hunting down those unlockables, or with friends, trying to avoid being power punched into next week, you're going to have a great time. And that makes Tekken 3 the king of this list. Hey, Thanks for checking out this video. I had a bunch of fun making it and replaying these games with my brother. Hope you enjoyed it.
So now that you're here, you might as well like and subscribe or check out another video here. Good luck, good night.